you have to put your... So I think we're live now, are we? Lovely.
Woo.
So welcome, Paula, aka DJ Feminasty.
Thank you.
Today from Berlin.
Yes,
Yeah?
I'm from Berlin today.
It's funny because somehow I had registered that you're from Leipzig.
It's true.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it in a moment, I think.
Soon.
It's a big pleasure to have you here. I have been following your work for quite a while, I have to admit.
Wow.
Yeah. And as far as I know, you're a DJ and you organize an event series called Safer Perreo. And sadly, that's for the moment all I know. So I would kindly ask you to introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Yeah, for sure, a pleasure. Well, thank you for having me here today. Yes, as you said, I am Paula, aka Feminasty, DJ Feminasty. Originally from Chile. I came to Germany to live in Berlin in 2019, and I started like my DJ career on the 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's been like an interesting experience because it was something that I didn't look for, but I always had this passion for music and kind of a talent for selecting tracks for parties, etc. Yeah, I can tell something about Safer Perreo, for example, but there are more events also.
All right. Yeah. So I think after having said that, I have now hundreds of questions I would like to ask you. But
Sure.
let's start with the most obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
You just stated that you started DJing in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a moment that ignited like this need or this passion for DJing as a matter of communicating or whatever?
Yeah, totally. There was like one specific moment. It's very fun because I also participate in different political collectives, and one of them is like a migrant Flinta collective. We are called like Perris del Futuro, like dogs of the future. And we wanted to do like many things, but we started saying, okay, we need to send some economic support to our continent, and we made like this crazy big party, and it was like ending of the pandemic. So yeah, like many people came, and I said, okay, I can take care of the music because I like it, I'm good at it. And after that, like the party was completely success. And after that, people started asking me like, hey, what's your DJ name? What's your SoundCloud? What's your Instagram? What's your blah, blah, blah? And I was like, I'm not a DJ exactly. Or I could be. And then I decided myself to go for it. And I'm super happy because it's been like very moving, very successful in terms of getting to know people, networking, I don't know, stating joy as resistance and mixing all this political with dancing and connecting with my roots somehow.
Thank you. And now we're happy that you're here. So this all is a full circle from our side. Thank you for being here again. I would, as I said, I now have, like, you gave me just 200 questions more, but carry on from the DJ point of view related to your political work. And I was wondering, like, there is something I haven't said so far, but I come from Beirut. And now knowing that you come from Chile and knowing that, so
I know.
we're somehow siblings. But
2019 siblings, yes.
Yeah. So, and you came 2019 to Germany. So it was
nice.
a magical moment when you said that. But I wanted to ask you, how does your work as a DJ relate to your political work when you say you are connecting to your roots and connecting to the community now, like in Berlin? How would you describe like this relationship?
Sure. It's complicated. It's a complex thing because it's something that I try to push more and more, but also like the scene, the DJ scene, the music scene. The mainstream music scene always wants to like push into the mainstream stuff, or I always say like I'm disputing spaces to the male dominance in the scene, because of course music is like a very male dominant industry. And also I have to like mix my political views and like all my ideal world that I have in my heart, also with the economy, because if I still cannot live out of DJing. I wish it was my main activity, but I'm not sure how much should I negotiate to get that. But at least standing as a female migrant is very important to me. Also, I try to decide like strongly what events to play at, and because many people come, and I've had bad experiences as well, like working with people who don't treat me like I wish, and but I try to focus on the queer migrant community, and if some Germans groups come to me and ask, I always say like, are you anti-Deutsch? Because if so, I wouldn't play, at least.
So I'm gonna ask a question that is probably only in my mind, and you can just let me know if it doesn't make sense. But I was wondering, how would you describe the scene and DJing on the one hand from a feminist point of view, and on the other hand from a migrant or diasporic point of view? If you can just share like these two perspectives with us.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think like political resistance is like how do you say that? Intersectional thing. So as much as you can intersect with different struggles, the more sense it makes. And in the other hand, I also think like there's only one fight or struggle resistance, which is liberation. But it's also important to identify like our positions in this world. And I don't mind. I'm not interested on like a white feminism only because it's a feminist thing, if it doesn't consider other dimensions of life, like class or race, and the diaspora reality.
And also from your point of view as practitioner, both in the field of activism and in the field of DJing, would you say that club culture, or let's say pop culture, is already there in terms of, is it a space able to understand and process what you are describing? Do you feel that it is rewarding and appreciating to work from your point of view in this field?
I'm not sure about what you mean exactly with club or pop culture. It's like, because this club culture, I knew it for the first time like in Berlin, because I mean in Chile there is also like a club culture, but it's more into like higher class and like more rich people. And if I understand it well, I mean, if club culture or pop culture make people have fun, like connecting with themselves in the terms of feeling, connecting with their bodies, enjoying, like pleasure, movement. I mean, that takes me personally like in a very political space, place, because for example, reggaeton has always been like pointed out because of like this, oh no, this is so sexist and macho cult. I also thought like that years ago, before understanding many things, but what people don't acknowledge is that reggaeton and many other genres of music makes people connects people with a lot with the body, with the sensuality, sexual dimension that people many times don't want to like connect with, or like they think it's not correct,
Yeah, so that's actually a cultural clash that happens in these moments,
Exactly.
especially when we live here. So we live within a white majority, and we somehow always are put in the situation of explaining things,
totally.
and but not to escape that, but for different reasons you decided to not only DJ but also create spaces. So mix the pleasure and put it in a space where people can really experience this pleasure without pressure. So that's what I mentioned earlier on with Safer Perreo. You can, or I would like to ask you to maybe introduce us both to Perreo and to Safer Perreo. So you can choose how to, like, what to start with.
Yeah, totally. Well, Perreo, as I understand it, is like the way you dance reggaeton, It's like this moving of the hips and like breaking a bit your knees. And this is Perreo. You can find maybe different definitions of it. And Safer Perreo is this concept that also like Camilo, like my DJ partner in Leipzig, was trying to develop to create like a party where people can perrear, dance like widely, in a safe, in a secure space, because I mean there are many factors. There is this idea of like Latin people are always like so horny and they are fire. So some other people, not always, but many times I've seen like white Germans coming like, can I dance with you? How do you do it? Like they go with the aim of getting like, I don't know.
Late or fucked.
Exactly.
We can say that here.
Perfect. And that's something. Not only white people believe that. Also, it happens a lot in the Latin scene, because we have to also like say there are a lot of like shit in our culture or like in our territories, and we have grown up with that. So we're trying to deconstruct, dismantle these false ideas of like what is a Latin party. And I think like giving space to, especially to queer community, is very important, because they're one of the communities which have like suffered the most because of like not being allowed of showing themselves, like, I don't know, dancing as they like, or because they are not too hegemonic, they're not like too skinny or like too tall or whatever, what I mean. So not only because of women, but for all people, because at least my feeling and my friends' feeling of wanting to go like dancing reggaeton, furious, like it's like really, it's a matter, many times it's a matter of releasing a lot of stress provoked by oppression, by discrimination on the streets, by like an appointment at Ausländerbehörde, etc. So yes, coming back to the party, in my opinion, there's still a lot to do to improve. Of course, the awareness, there has to be like an awareness team, but also this awareness team has to be like educated on taking care, especially of these kind of discriminations that people can experience, like not only sexual harassment or stuff like that, but also like racist shit or stuff like that, So it's like very complicated, because we are also learning how to get more sensitive on different oppressions that not always we experience. So we have to empathize.
I had like this funny image in my head when you were talking, that you have like the Safer Perreo flyers at Ausländerbehörde. That was a nice picture I had, that people get an invitation and a flyer
after the appointment.
Yeah,
totally. Please.
After Ausländerbehörde.
Maybe we will do it.
That would be really great.
Totally.
It's like just inviting people to heal,
exactly,
and to
by
release
dancing.
Yeah. No, that we should. Let's
talk about it later.
So at the beginning, I stated that I wasn't sure if you come from Berlin or from Leipzig, and now you just mentioned Leipzig. Would you like to share what the connection is between Berlin and Leipzig, and why you move between those two cities?
It's only because, Camilo, this other DJ, Kafgar, if you follow him, at Kafgar, he lives in Leipzig. So he invited to me to these safe Perreo parties, and then we got to know each other and try to do this party. And our idea is making the party also out of Leipzig. I mean, he has he's like the manager. He has the contacts. I'm trying to push on the concept and other stuff. So we would love to go to other cities with this party and with the concept as well.
To Bochum, for example?
For example.
Ah.
Why not?
Why not? I don't know. We're talking.
Of course, networking.
No, but that's something I was wondering, because a lot of people are most of the times involved in activism and in different artistic practices, and most of the people also cannot live from what they do. So it's actually something that comes on top of their daily struggle. Plus, in a healthy world, nobody should have to do all these things. So sometimes we normalize the fact that people are politically active and using their artistic means to fight for freedom and for liberation, but it seldom comes to the surface that this all is actually being done because there is injustice, and there are people actually just making sure that it stays. And what I found inspiring now, based on the connection with the group you stated that is based in Berlin, you started off with, and now the connection between Leipzig and the intersectionality you spoke about in the way you see your activism in, let's say, in the music industry or in the music culture. I wanted to ask you if, like, this term of solidarity that a lot of people use on a daily basis, where I sometimes ask myself what is really meant. Do you feel in your work that what a lot of people claim in terms of somehow nourishing solidarity in the community is really a practice that's a bad question, huh?
Yes.
No, but I just it's not about condemning people, but I was just wondering if how do you perceive like this connection and this cooperation between different people in the community, and I'll get to another question related to that afterwards.
Okay. I cannot really say that like with certainty, because depends on the people, depends on the community, and you never know like what people do afterwards, or like sometimes people come to you and tell you you did it like amazing, I wish like more DJs were like this, or parties, spaces, and so on. And sometimes I get really bad feelings about the people joining the parties, you know. But I think it's very important. You mentioned something about explaining things, and it's not always something nice, but I think education is like one of the main tools to at least spread your message. And when you develop a concept of any event, not only a party, you have to be very careful with the words you use, so you kind of make sure that people that decide to come are more or less on the same page, and I don't want to mean like we should all like have the same thought or like the same ideology. I don't like that word much, or political posture. I don't know, but some like minimum basis we should share. So this I don't know, like Perreo duro against imperialism, for example, is something that I like to spread when I go to play somewhere, or to show myself as an artist, because that's also like something complicated for me. Like calling myself an artist is new to me, and I always had like this like a certain uncomfortability with art world and artists, because I always found them so like pretentious. But like art, in my point of view, must be political, and when you like want to make a public event, you should state some principles, at least, so people can go, and if they're not agree, they can, so you can confront, you can discuss, you can educate, but it's really complicated. You cannot, it's like something out of your control.
Okay, so I would like to go back to what you said earlier with fighting for space within the scene. So I'll ask it a bit, how do you say, a bit naive, but as opposed to the males that you stated as being dominant in the scene, isn't it too much work for you to take care of all these things? Because, okay, if you do not relate to being an artist and you find it pretentious, but the educational work, the awareness work, the communication work, the community building work, all these things are things that you have to perform above DJing, whereas other members of the scene just need to take care of the content of their USB stick.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to a topic that you wanted to avoid at the beginning, economics.
Oh.
How does that relate actually? Because if you're doing 5 times more, if you're putting 5 times more work into the same thing than another person, shouldn't you get paid 5 times more?
Yeah, like in our ideal world. Yes, I mean, it is actually a lot. But then I don't think much about it. Now you mentioned.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I don't think about it because otherwise I get depressed and like. But it's a decision you make. You know, it's not only. It's not. I mean, of course, we're talking about DJing because this is our thing now, but whatever you do, even like as a woman, like living is a lot, because if you're not taking care of someone else, like children, how do you say, grannies, like older people, or like already being like, of course, migrant. But if I were not a migrant, there's always a lot of work to do, but I like to do it. It's a decision, and I made this decision like long time ago. Whatever I do, I will try to put my little grain of sand. And I don't know, fighting is like it's a way of living, and it will be there at any activity I do, and I like it. I mean, I like to fight for spaces. I like to speak loud when I have the energy to do it. I don't like to work, like the money thing always gets me a bit I don't know, like contradictive, and like makes me feel very existentialist, like why am I doing this, only money, capitalism. But I try to keep it like low level so I can enjoy as well. Like all of this work, all of this like list of tasks wouldn't be like it's worthy if I enjoy, if I can laugh out loud, if I can dance however I want, if I can do whatever I like, enjoy myself, then it's paid. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this thought, because that's actually I find it very inspiring on the one hand that you describe it as a matter of fact, that that's what you do for the purpose of doing it, for yourself, for others, and so on and so on and so forth. But thinking about it in an objective way, it is unfair, because there are a lot of people that are not concerned, that are not doing the work, that do not care if you're having fun or not, if you're dancing safely or not, if you feel safe or not, and they coexist in the same way. So they think then when you leave your house, it's the same thing as when they leave their house.
Exactly.
You know. So it's inspiring but unfair.
Unfair but important to mention. Of course, like let's acknowledge it and keep talking about it. Totally.
The other thing you mentioned during the introduction was the idea of connecting to the past, to connecting to your roots, connecting to your culture. Can you I don't know how to ask this question in terms of to keep it precise, because I'll give just an example from my side. I have a very uncomfortable or unsteady deal with culture and roots in my case, because I know why I left the country. I know what is still happening in the country. I know what things are super and nourishing and enlightening and blah. And I know on the other side how many things are unjust, are also reproducing discrimination, racism, sexism, and so on and so forth. So whenever I'm confronted by white people, I try to defend like the roots and the culture and blah 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 blah. But whenever I'm with my siblings, we talk about different things, and we become a bit controversial. So when I imagine your attitude or your visibility in public as a person representing a culture, roots, history, and on the other hand, a person thinking about how other people feel, how do you get along with this controversy, if there is one at all?
Yeah, then totally there is one, and I totally see myself on like in your attitude, like we are Latin people, and like don't exotize me, etc. But it's also like I don't want to be disrespectful. Sometimes you want to resume, like to make it short. You don't want to give more explanations, but where I come from, we are a big territory, continent, and it's not the same being from the very south, like Chile or Argentina, that being from Mexico or, I don't know, Colombia. And I mean, I like being a migrant is something very, like, not always, how do you say, grateful, because it's, for me, it's like now I don't belong to any place, because when I come back, of course, it's home, but people are not the same. Like, these times are so crazy that the time is like so fast and things change a lot, and suddenly you don't feel comfortable at your place anymore. And but also, like, living in Germany is something that I don't want to do forever. But then it's like where like a place, then sometimes I don't know if it's a mistake or not, or it's like a matter of like surviving, but like dreaming of your ideal place, and then realizing that it doesn't exist, and it will probably won't exist. It's a bit sad. And related to the music, for me as a Chilean person, it's important. I don't want to say like reggaeton comes from Chile. That is not true. But I grew up listening to reggaeton, even against my own
will.
will. And I cannot deny that. And I like now, I mean, for me, it's important because it's a matter of class. And also, like, plus this critics against reggaeton that is super sexist and so on. There was this thing about stating that it's super, like, it's for poor people, like, or like black people that they don't know, like they are rude, it's gross, etc. And it was always there for like the lower class in my reality. So now I like to like vindicate it with even more strength, because I don't know, it shows something about our society that doesn't want to recognize or like see in themselves. I don't know, I like it a lot. And there, of course, there's still things to be done, or in the industry, in the mainstream. For example, in Chile, there are many artists. Like, they are 17 years old. It's crazy, and I love to see them like making money as crazy. But we need more queer people, more women, and yeah, we are missing that still. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all these thoughts.
Thank you.
Just sticking a bit to this ideal place that still does not exist, but you're working on it.
Yeah, every day.
And we support whenever we can do anything.
Lovely.
But the thought of being home, on like, not home in a territorial kind of home, but in a physical kind of home, in a political kind of home, and somehow also in an economic kind of home. Would you, or do you think about turning Chile into this space, do you sometimes fantasize of, because now you're putting your work into Leipzig and into Berlin,
Exactly.
but like looking at these 70-year-old people and the potential you see in your siblings at the end of the day, do you sometimes like fantasize about going back and turning this land upside down?
Yeah, I do fantasize a lot. Like, yeah, with Chile, I just came back, actually. I was like for like a long Germany break, and it felt so good. But also, I mean, now that you mentioned the age, it's like, fuck, I became a DJ too old. like I get very tired
Let's
after
not talk about getting old.
So it's like, maybe I'm a bit late. I don't know. I mean, of course it's not. I mean, age is something that should be not that important, but in the end of the day, it is somehow. I fantasize. It's true, but when I was there last January, February, March, it's not like here. It's not like here. Like, I'm not that interesting there, you know, because I don't know. I'm one Chilean more, and you're like a nice girl, but it's not enough, and like the economic valoration is not the same. So it's like I should be like very I don't know, crazy famous, like do crazy stuff to get to this point, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. And that's like the not nice part of thinking there, but I don't know, you never know. But for example, I never dreamed with being a DJ in Chile. Like, what happened to me here, I think it was completely like impossible in Chile. I don't know. Yeah.
But was there a scene you participated in Chile that is comparable to like the community you joined in Berlin, in terms of music, in terms of culture?
I think it's different. First of all, I didn't get into the scene in Chile because it takes time, no contacts, etc. And I played in some little parties, like in one big, and was like that was like my highest point. But then I couldn't get into it. And the sad thing is, for example, if people wanted to create like a space, like a political and party space moments, I think it's super hard, because if I'm struggling here, like with being this and that and working and educating, like in Latin America, it's like 3 times more difficult, because there is really like first of all, the economic part is fucked up, so people cannot imagine, like it's very hard to imagine giving time to produce stuff like events if you have to struggle to get to the end of the month. So I wish it happened, but like things seem very complicated right now.
Going back to DJing and to your specific practice, both in your selections, like in the selection of songs you like to play, and the way you play it, and the way or the spaces you create for the music to get enjoyed. One question that sometimes goes through my head is, do you sometimes like playing music that is emotionally or historically linked to yourself, like both to your body and mind and soul and so on and so forth, is sometimes linked to an insecurity of, will the people react? Will the people comment? Will the people ask silly questions? Do I want to be put in this situation of representing something or sharing something that is emotionally super linked to myself in public? Do you sometimes have like this struggle of sharing culture, not knowing with whom?
It's I don't know. It's a mix of things. I think when I play, I kind of transform, and I feel the fucking boss.
You are.
Not really, and I'm not this kind of person. But yeah, that's why I say I transform. There is always this insecurity, like, how will people react? I hope they like it. I hope blah blah. And I had the lack of being most of the times like having a good party, like a good set, good comments afterwards. And I don't know, for me as an amateur artist, it's important to keep this feeling of not being completely confident, because then it's like a bit pretentious, as I said before. And I don't like that. Of course, it's also like a struggle between like security, because you want to be sure, like, and showing that also to the people, and but also with this little secret insecurity that I hope it doesn't show. But you know, like playing this music, it's always like a tour through my memories, through my, I don't know, like moments at school, high school, you know. It's when I used to be like a punk rocker, like angry punk, who didn't want to dance like that because that's not of punk people, and so on. So I don't know, I think there's a lot of feeling in the music, like while I play the music, and maybe this is the magic of DJing. I don't know, for me personally, I don't know, I get really, really excited when I play and I see the people like reacting. It's like something I cannot describe. I don't know, I enjoy it a lot. I actually rather play than dance, because I'm not really a good dancer. And I don't know, I like to feel like the boss, in at least
you are. We got it on camera. You are.
At least in one moment,
yeah,
of the party, of the whatever is happening. Then I can go to my corner and stay quiet.
So now you got us excited, because you're going to share a set with us in a couple of minutes. But before going there, and I would like to suggest we stop like 5 minutes before your set, so you have time to calm down, have a drink, get ready, get into the vibe, and so on and so forth. But I was talking about selecting and playing the music you select. I'm not sure if this question makes sense, but I know, or I have been following the I'll call it Latin pop scene in the past years, and there are a lot of artists that are focusing in their lyrics and in their texts on issues related to queer people, to women, and to injustice, to social injustice. And I wanted to ask you, when you put a set together and when you select your songs, is it a process where you try to combine your political views with making people happy, making people dance, so create like an atmosphere of the education you spoke about and the fun and enjoyment and healing?
Yes, it's tricky because I try to mix all of this, and the problem is like the rhythm is very important, like the BPM, the dembow. So not all, let's say, political songs are like very like I call it like perreo duro, like hard perreo, because it's like it will destroy you by dancing.
A workout.
Exactly. And so then you have to select, and you cannot be always 100% like politically correct. And I decided to get rid of this feeling like I have to be 100% political, because it's not possible. At least I see it like that. And
you standing there is already political.
Exactly. But also, if I want to transmit, like to transmit something with the lyrics or text of the songs, it's like it will not be always like this. So I try to mix a bit, like queer or flinta artists, good, like a nice boom boom, Chilean shit, because I like it. My young people are doing a great job. I like to give them space as well. And like a bit of feminist, a bit of like queer, trans visibilization, and nasty lyrics.
Okay.
This is very important in Feminasty, that there's like a, how do you say it, like the word? Yes, I mean, having this people go crazy dancing, and if you understand the lyric, it's like, oh, it's high level, but that doesn't mean anything else. I mean, that anything else. I mean, it means what you want. It doesn't mean you are able, or like you are put there, like, and people or guys can take you. No, of course not. It means like
enjoy.
Yeah. That's it.
Enjoy how you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, the way you want.
Sexuality is important. We have to enjoy that. If you want.
How you want.
How you want. Exactly.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask you in the beginning, but I said, okay, that's going to be too corny now. But you brought it in, so I'll take it as an invitation. I wanted to ask you, like, you were asked after the first party, how do you call yourself as a DJ, and so on and so forth. And now you just mentioned the nasty part of Feminasty. Would you like to share, like, how you put your DJ name together?
Yeah, sure. Why I don't remember why I thought on Feminasty before playing, and I don't know, probably I am good at fantasizing, so I don't know what I was thinking about, but yeah, I had to kind of rush on having a name, and I was like, oh no, what describes myself? Like, I asked friends, like, hey, what would you say about me if I have to be like an artist? And it was tricky. I actually decided by other name, but in the end, Feminasty came to me like, I had this thought some time ago, and I love it. I just love it. And I also knew that it could be already used, and I think it is. Like, there are some feminists out there, and I'm happy.
There should be more.
There should be more, for sure.
More feminists in this world.
Totally. And yeah, I think it came to my mind like even before playing, and I love it so much. I still love it with all my heart. I love how it sounds, how people react, and it's crazy because I'm gonna say something delicate, but some people tell me, "Oh, good, feminasty, like Nazi," and I said, "No, not like this, feminasty." And then so some people get confused. Don't get confused.
A lot of people are confused.
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes you can help them. Sometimes you can't.
Exactly. But yes, I love it. I have one single sticker. I forgot to bring more from my
Okay,
logo.
So we're going to have a fight tonight about who's going to get the sticker.
Like it's going to be like a Perreo.
Yeah, a Perreo challenge. Yeah.
Exactly.
So get ready to Perrear because there's one Feminasty sticker waiting for you. Also, people at home listening to us, you can send us videos
your
of
video.
your
30 seconds.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm very, very excited to and looking forward to listening to your set.
Thank you for the invitation.
So we'll stop now, so you have a little bit of time to just to arrive, to have a good time, and to get ready. And you'll see me on the other side.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, all of you, all the people behind this, and say it loud, say it clear. Perreo duro against imperialism. Gracias. Gracias.